What's something you shouldn't give to a homeless person?
We used to check in on this homeless man occasionally to make sure he was doing okay. One year we were chatting and he says, "Hey, I have to give you something." I was excited, thinking maybe he's super artsy and made us something cool to remember him by. He opens his trench coat and reveals a giant frozen uncooked slab of pork. Someone gave me this effing slab of meat. What the F does he think I'm going to do with this? I'm sick of carrying this around.
Whatever they don't want. I was gonna buy a homeless dude a nice backpack once, but he didn't want it because chances he will get robbed for it or stolen.
Don't just drop off food in to-go containers near someone's tent. If you're bringing food, talk to them, give it to them. Stacking up perishable food they can't manage or really throw away is only bringing mice to their living situation.
Canned food with pull-open tabs, anything that is perishable, homemade food, unless you know them. Judgment. People can be homeless for a variety of reasons. Not every homeless person is a bad person. And no one deserves to be homeless, whether how they got there or what they're doing while they're there is wrong to you. Good things. Baby wipes. Water bottles, reusable too. Socks. Hand warmers. Hygiene products for periods. Best thing. Ask them. Each person is different, has access to different resources. The best way to know someone's needs is to ask them yourself. ETA. I say not homemade food because people have sometimes added things in the food to make it inedible, from the toothpaste, prankster, to glass. Things can still be added to sealed food, sure, but definitely less likely and more noticeable, in my opinion.
Related story time. I used to work at a thrift store in processing. Basically, I sorted donations, cleaned them up if needed, priced them, and put them out onto the floor. One day I got in a donation a bunch of those kits you see people put together for homeless people. They have things like a stick of deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, hand sanitizer, wet wipes, that sort of thing. I was going through them for things we weren't allowed to put onto the floor, like medication. They had packets of Tylenol in them, when I found a folded $50 bill in there. I unfolded it, and it was one of those Christian pamphlet things. You know, the ones that say, money isn't the cure for everything, only Jesus will get you into heaven, or whatever. So basically, don't get someone who's desperate for money fake money that says they shouldn't worry about money.
Would be funny if people started putting those fake bill Christian pamphlets into the collection plate.
A frozen turkey. Had a friend who used to send plated meals to the homeless people near her house, occasionally. One day one of them came to her door with a frozen turkey. Someone had driven to the homeless area and handed this woman a frozen turkey. When the woman delivered it, she said, "I figured you have an oven, maybe you can use it." What did they think I was going to do with it? I've got a shopping cart, not an oven.
As a kid, who was poor but fortunately not homeless, we used to get a bunch of donated turkeys every Thanksgiving. Freezer would be wall-to-wall turkeys and we would be eating turkey for dinner for what seemed like months. Thank God we at least had a freezer, or no doubt much of it would have been wasted. People always donate turkeys on Thanksgiving, but ignore the rest of the year, I guess. But eating turkey for a couple of months is a lot better than eating nothing. I am thankful for anyone who donated something I ate as a kid, as I don't know where I would be now otherwise. Dead, I guess.
Ask them what they want. We had a homeless man, who walked around in a garbage bag, explained people kept giving him clothes and 3 times he had been attacked for them. If you're not sure what they need, ask.
Instead of cash, I asked a man what he wanted from the gas station and he asked for laundry detergent. We always think about food and shelter, which are fundamental. But hygiene is such a larger category of luxury that we take for granted. TBH, this is gonna sound weird, but homemade food. It's better to give already packaged, ready-made food so that there isn't any doubt that the food has been tampered with.
There was a time in my area that people were poisoning homeless via homemade sandwiches.
Food that needs to be cooked. Edit. Give the awards to the homeless instead of me.
Also, food that requires a hard bite. Many are in need of dental care.
Mostly related, but I work at a homeless shelter and you would not believe some of the poo that comes through donations. Lingerie, beat-up clothing and shoes, outdated appliances. If you want to donate, you can always call ahead and see if the shelter is looking for particular items. Seasonal clothing, hygiene items, not half-used shampoo bottles, and new socks and underwear are always good ideas. Edit. Thanks for the awards. For those asking, my shelter always has lots of donations including full bottles of shampoos, so I would rather give out a full bottle rather than half.
That reminds me of my time when I worked at a homeless center for mentally ill homeless and I was tasked with sorting out a box of DVDs that were donated. 75% of the box was pee.
I used to work for a non-profit and we gave out branded tire pressure gauges. I'm not sure why, I thought it was an odd choice, but we found out one day while outreaching that some of our clients were turning them into crack pipes. Needless to say, we stopped giving those out. Haha.
How did that start?
I'm not sure. They had them when I started working there.
Apples, try softer foods. Edit, thank you for the upvotes. If there's anyone with the savvy for fundraising, I know an individual in Lahaina that could really use some attention. I call him Blind Mike. He absolutely is blind, and says it's from cataracts that can be corrected with surgery. The guy toting along with him uses him as a hustle and takes most of the drive-by offerings. I've spent a good amount of time talking to him. That said, he is alcoholic and not willing to help himself, but geez, if there's a way to get his vision back, I'm more than happy to coach him from there.
You know, I usually take an apple with me to work as an easy snack. On my commute, I usually pass several houseless folks. Typically, I offer them my apple since I usually don't carry cash, change on me. I was surprised how many of them have refused because they physically don't think they can bite into an apple without F***C king up their teeth, mouth. Really flabbergasted me at first, thinking a nice nutritious fruit would be a treat. Now I bring oranges and they are thrilled. Soft foods FTW.
Laxatives. This homeless guy that used to live in a nearby bridge was given food that secretly had some sort of laxative in it. Needless to say, he became a lot more wary of free food afterwards. I don't think they ever found out who the POS that did it was.
Christ, that's terrible. I remember that story of the guy who replaced the Oreo cream with toothpaste and gave them out to the homeless. At least in this case the piece of poo was caught. Link. Edit, changed link to another site that doesn't suck as much.
I've done outreach work. They get so much food and water, but females need feminine hygiene products and they all need socks.
Ever watch Shark Tank? I remember seeing when the Bomber Socks founders made their pitch and got an investment, I forget from who. Now they have commercials and kept their mission statement of giving socks to the homeless. Those were really good guys. Glad to see them doing well and giving to the homeless.
Stuff that they have to carry around.
Milk-based foods. If a person spends some years without consuming dairy products, they lose their ability to digest lactose. Lactose intolerance increases with age. I googled to provide a reference, and there are many. So you can Google if you want to check this.
I'm really surprised I haven't seen this answer, but anything of noticeably high value. Brand name clothing or shoes, expensive backpacks, watches, etc. This can get them killed, or at the very least targeted and mugged. It also makes things harder for them to be taken seriously and receive effective aid if they're dressed in expensive clothing, that or it's assumed they stole it, which is a whole other problem.
This should honestly be the top answer. Rich people want to make themselves feel good and donate Gucci sweaters in poo that will get them effed up and robbed, and nobody will ever help a dude in a Gucci sweater with a few bucks to get some food. It's just all around a really screwed up gift, donation.
Attachments for their KitchenAid stand mixer.
DG. They will just use them to get money.
A hard time.
And disrespect.
Years ago, I was nipping to my local supermarket and there was a homeless dude with a cute dog curled up next to him. Mindful that any money I gave him may be spent unwisely, I said I'd get his puppa some food. At which he responded, "Oh for sake, can you not?" Astonished, I was about to have a effing meltdown on his ass, but he held up a finger and pulled a bag round from behind him. It was rammed with tins of dog food, clearly from other well-meaning shoppers. Closing the bag back up, he sighed heavily and exclaimed, "For the love of God, can you just buy me a effing tin opener?" Edit. Wow, thank you so much for your responses to this, which were entirely unexpected, and thank you too, for the awards. Understandably, some of you have pulled me up on my assumption that the homeless guy may have spent the money unwisely, so I thought I'd better provide more information as to my thinking at the time. There was a real issue in those days, with homelessness, de-taking and alcoholism, which I know is still a problem everywhere. I get it, I really do, But I had just lost a dear friend to AD overdose and I was as raw as F over it. So, in short, I didn't want to be the reason behind someone else's oblivion. Hope that explains it.
Greater than closing the bag back up, he sighed heavily and exclaimed, "For the love of God, can you just buy me a effing tin opener?" Is it terrible that I burst out laughing at this part? I hope you got that guy his can opener.
Yes lol. Not only did I buy him a tin opener, I got his dog a bowl as well.
I'm in NYC. There's the homeless one should avoid like the plague, and then there's the homeless who one can approach and give food, or a few bucks. It bothers me to say, but as a New Yorker, you develop the savviness and instinct to size up the difference really effing fast. Internet fame. Stop recording your good deeds to get attention. If you want to help someone out, just help them. Edit. A lot of people were confused by this, so I just want to clarify. There is a difference between using someone for personal gain versus using social media in a positive way to truly make an impact. I'm talking about people who exploit others to grow their channel, and/or get a ton of donations and then misuse the funds. It's specifically an asshole move when a person isn't given an option to consent, which you could argue are a lot of people, especially if they don't give consent and then aren't given resources since they don't want to be in a video.
An unsolicited conversation on why they wouldn't be homeless if they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.